The doors are open again on the House of Wellness. Today, every parent's dilemma, raising a happy child or a good child.
The mythical work-life balance. We'll find out if it really is possible.
The power of the ocean. We look into the healing benefits of the sea.
There is something very special about the ocean, and beautiful about the surf.
And we've always been told carrots are good for your eyesight. We'll bring you the truth.
Australia has one of the highest incidence of eye cancers in the world.
A show packed full of goodness and wellness today.
So let's all get well, stay well, live well and look fabulous.
Right here in the House of Wellness. Hello everyone. Hey, hi.
Hi.
So good to have you here with us today.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for joining us again. But as you know, it has been a horror flu season.
Yeah.
It has been striking down everyone. And just because it is getting warmer doesn't mean the flu is finished. Now, later, Gerald is going to give you some good advice on how to avoid it. And if you catch it, what to do to cope.
Now, later in the show too, we sit down with TV royalty. The Queen is here. Queen of daytime television, Kerri-Anne Kennerley, is in the house. I'm a bit overexcited.
I know.
Oh, there's the music.
Calm down.
She's here. She's in the building.
Plus, our Prince Gerald Quigley is, that's a very Prince name, isn't it? Is back in the hot seat with your calls and questions, and the fittest man on the show will be here later.
I'm right here.
Sam Wood.
Oh, one of the fittest men.
Yeah, one.
On the show.
Now, we love hearing from you. Thank you again for everybody that is giving us feedback. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
And remember, you can find us at houseofwellness.com.au.
And we are here to help, of course. Our number, 1800 469 788. You can call us anytime.
But wait, there's more. Check us out on Facebook. There you'll find great video tips to watch, great advice for new mums like me, tips for healthy snacks, that and so much more. So make sure you're following us.
You and your snacks.
Get in touch. We want to hear from you.
But first, is your child a good child or a happy child? And what's the difference? And what's better? Those are crucial questions for all parents, I'd say.
Recent research shows young people today say happiness is their top priority, but should it be? And does that mean we are raising our children the wrong way?
Joining us to explain is the Chief Happiness Officer from the Happiness Institute, Dr. Tim Sharp. Hello.
G'day, thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Nice to having you with us. Look, we all want our children to be healthy and happy. Where's this good part come in?
Well, let's not underestimate healthy and happy. They're good things as well.
Yep.
But I suppose what the research suggests is that shouldn't be everything. A good child has benefits, I suppose. Good children are kinder, they're more generous to others, they actually perform better at school, and they do more good for the world around them.
Right. So how do we know if we are raising a happy child or a good child?
Yeah, that's a really important question because it comes down to definitions and excuse me, a lot of people don't understand the differences between those two terms. So happiness can be thought of as a positive emotion, which is very important.
Yeah.
It can also be thought of as living a good life, which is very important. But goodness is more about what we do to and for others. And so it takes us beyond ourselves. It goes beyond selfishness, which is really important.
Are these things exclusive? As a parent, I want them to be healthy and happy and good.
No, that's a really good point. We can, and we probably should, try to have all, and help our kids have all of them. And they're very interconnected. So, happy people tend to be kinder to others, and good people tend to be happier as well. So if we understand what they are, we can also understand that they're not mutually exclusive, and in fact, they work very well together.
Fantastic. Well, you're doing your best, aren't you?
Can we teach them to be good?
We certainly can, just like we can teach anything else. In a lot of ways, you can break it down to skills. And, like anything else, we can teach our kids. And that's really probably one of the most important things we should be trying to do as parents.
All right.
So what would you say to round it up, some of those things that we can take home to the parents out there that are like, OK, I want a good child?
Well, one of the first things to do, I think, as a parent is to see the big picture, to look beyond the immediate, where we can sometimes get lost in, we just want our kids to be happy. Well, sometimes we need to look beyond that. What's the right thing to do? We need to help our kids. Number two is we need to help our kids see the bigger picture as well, see beyond themselves, beyond the immediate moment. And the third thing, possibly the most important thing for any parent at any time, is that if or when something is important for you, for your kids, talk about it.
Yeah, right. And start early, little one, start
I'm
early.
talking to it now.
Can't hurt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Tim Sharp. Now, it's all about getting the balance right when bringing up your children, which can add a lot of stress as a parent. But there are things that we can do for ourselves to help cope.
You'll be fine. For me, getting the balance right is vitamin C. And I don't mean the letter C, I mean SEA. Bringing the balance back is as easy as taking a dip in the wonderful ocean.
Now, according to recent studies, a swim at a beach can have positive effects for everyone. So we sent Caroline Pemberton to dive into the search of vitamin C and the healing power of the ocean.
The sun is rising on another day, and ever since I can remember, salt water has played a huge part in my life. Whether I'm water skiing, diving or surfing, there is nothing like waking to the majesty of the ocean.
Welcome to the daily pilgrimage down to the seaside. Oh, it's magical. And look, I'm not the only one that feels this way. There's just something about the ocean, you know, it can be your best mate on a hot day, but it can also be a bit of a parent and give you a right sea spanking when you go out of your depth. But, you know, I think we're all here for the same reason. It's a healer. It makes you feel amazing. So I'm going to catch up with a few people today and hear about how they get their daily dose of vitamin C.
If you've ever wondered why you feel so good after a swim at the beach, it's because the ocean air is charged with something called negative ions, supercharged oxygen atoms that are generated by the colossal blue tides of the Earth's oceans. These negative ions increase oxygen absorption in our lungs and directly affect our sense of well-being and mental clarity. The salt water itself is also packed with antibacterial iodine, which heals wounds, reduces infections, and can even help with depression and anxiety. This is Grant Trebleco. After 10 years of battling mental illness, he was diagnosed with bipolar in 2012. And every Friday, he and his mates take to the waves in their vibrant fluoro surf gear to lift spirits and promote mental health awareness. For Grant, the ocean was his saviour.
I went through ups and downs for probably for years actually without even knowing what they were. I didn't know it was mental health because no one talks about it. The only thing that got me out of bed in the morning and only thing that got me off the couch and got rid of my anxiety, even for a bit, was surfing and being in the ocean. So I wanted to share this recipe of one wave is all it takes. I wanted to share the recipe of like it's okay not to be okay.
And with that, the One Wave Surf Group was born. In Australia, 1 in 5 people experience mental health issues, and over half of them don't seek help. So the One Wavers plan is simple. Lots of salt water, surfing, and good friends who will listen.
It brings me happiness. It makes me forget about everything that's happened throughout the week. And it just, sets me up for the day.
You get out there and you're paddling around, and for just that 1 hour, all of a sudden you're not thinking about the things that you were thinking about on dry land, you know. For just that one moment, you're able to just sit just a little bit higher and kind of see things from a different light.
There is something very special about the ocean and beautiful about the surf. Because when you get down here first thing in the morning, you just see the blue colour, the blue sky, and there's just something about it that makes you very calm.
For millions of Australians, the ocean's healing qualities are something they cannot live without. And I'm about to meet some people who are unashamedly addicted to the positive vibes given off by the ocean's negative ions.
It just makes you feel so damn good.
After the break, when you've lost everything, can the ocean get it back?
Only thing that got me off the couch and got rid of my anxiety, even for a bit, was surfing and being in the ocean.
Later, we take a look at the myth of work-life balance and if it's setting us up for failure.
Plus, here's that music again. It's for TV royalty, and she has reigned on our screens for decades. Kerry-Anne, the Queen of Television, will be joining us later in the show.
That and a whole lot more after the break.
Here on the House of Windsor, Wellness.
When I last left you, I've been looking at the healing power of the ocean. And today there is no shortage of people who have come down to the beach for their daily dose of saltwater therapy. From hardcore ocean trainers to groups like the Pink-Capped Bold and Beautiful, who believe an early morning ocean swim is the key to a long life.
We call it vitamin C, SEA, and we say it's our Dr. Salt. I mean, the known benefits, but just you're fearless, your freedom, the sort of invigorating freshness of that ocean. It just makes you feel so damn good.
What I've noticed is that while we all have different stories about why we come down to the ocean and what we get from it, they're all a little bit similar. We're all being really active, but what if you can't be as active? Can the ocean still be healing?
This is Sam Bloom. 4.5 years ago, tragedy struck her and her family. While holidaying in Thailand, she became a paraplegic after a 6-metre fall from a balcony. Growing up on Sydney's northern beaches, the sea holds a special place for her.
What has the ocean meant to you?
The ocean was kind of everything to me. It sounds kind of weird, especially as I got older. It was almost like, you know, some people meditate. That was like my form of meditation.
But do you still find solace in the ocean?
I probably don't find it as much on the beach anymore, but I got into kayaking. It's weird, I would paddle and just always put my hands in the water just to feel it. And then, I know it's so silly, and I always wet my hair with salt water just to sort of get the taste and, I don't know, the feel.
The ocean plays a huge part in Sam's positivity about life moving forward. So her advice for anyone needing help is simple. The ocean works wonders.
Enjoy whatever it is that you can do, even if it's something really, really small. Smelling the salt air or just, I don't know, just being back out in nature again. I think that's insanely beneficial.
For me, the ocean and surfing has been like finding a part of my soul that I never knew I had. And today I've noticed that that's kind of universal. Once you've discovered it, it becomes fundamental and in your DNA. And it doesn't matter if you're a surfer or a swimmer or you just want to come down here and sit and soak it in. It doesn't matter what issue you face. It could be mental or physical. We could all do with a good dose of vitamin C.
What a wonderful story. Welcome to the show, Caroline. You're with us here now. Fellow water baby, we know being in the ocean has these fabulous physical effects, don't we? But the mental aspect's hugely beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, I love the sea. I've got to get down there most days. But what we found, talking to everyone that makes that pilgrimage, is that it's not about just being fit and healthy and buff or being skilled at, I don't know, surfing or swimming. It's actually about the headspace and how we all feel when we get down there.
Well, we certainly all go and breathe more deeply when we're by the sea, don't we? The air is wonderful. Is this these negative ions?
Yeah, so you're not alone. And we actually have a natural reaction to breathe deeply, and the negative ions increase oxygen absorption. So we feel good naturally, and they're, you know, a negative ion is essentially just an atom that has more negative electrons, and they're made naturally down by the ocean and in the surf. And they have all these wellness benefits. They help your immune system, you breathe deeper, so essentially you feel good, you breathe better, you're just happier.
Could also be the smell of the seaweed too, but great story. I'll see you in the shore break. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Caroline. Now, we all lead very busy lives these days, and the strain is showing. Research claims 7 out of 8 Australian employees, that's over 85% of us, feel life is becoming more and more frantic, and they're finding it too hard to cope. Well, here to explain is KPMG partner and performance coach Andrew May. Help us, we're stressed.
Yeah, look, I don't think anyone's watching this going, I have too much time, Zoe. I would like to give you some.
It's so true.
And you're leading 85%, so that's 7 out of 8 people in Australia in a recent survey say, I feel overloaded, I'm connected to technology all the time, and I don't feel like I'm connecting with some of those things that are really important to me. So life is out of whack.
So this work-life balance we talk about, how do we achieve some balance?
Might be controversial, it's a myth. Busted. I don't believe in work-life balance.
There's no work-life balance?
There's work-life integration, there's a work-life plan, without getting too kitsch on the words.
Does work-life balance make us stressed because we're setting ourselves up for failure?
Rewind 15 years ago, there are academics all around the world behind little podiums saying you need to compartmentalise your life. Do you live your life in 8 hours sleep? You're about to have a little baby, good luck with that one. 8 hours working and 8 hours socialising. So the academics set us up for failure because we think if I don't sleep 8 hours, work 8 and recreate 8, I must not be living a work-life balance. So the scales are always out of whack.
So whether we're talking about a CEO of a huge company or a stay-at-home mum, how do we try and find some kind of way to be peaceful within the habit?
I like that. Peaceful's a better word than balance. And it's relative, because what is balance for you might be not balance for a mother watching this, or a single dad, or a CEO, male or female of a large company. So rather than talking about work-life balance, that myth's busted, what I get people to do is to look at what would an ideal day or what would a better day look like. So what are some of the activities in your life that give you purpose? Some of those hobbies, some of it might be spirituality, might be love, that help you stay grounded.
A little bit of self-care in there as well.
Yeah. And it's also, your net worth is not equal to your self-worth.
Yeah.
A lot of people go, Zoe, if I earn more money, I'll be more balanced. I tell you what, over the years, I've worked with a lot of miserable millionaires, and I've worked with some really happy people who live on the breadline.
The rap song "More Money, More Problems." Notorious B.I.G. was completely right there. I know what what I'm talking about.
I didn't know you'd be able to get a rap song into a segment on work-life balance. I'm going to hashtag that.
Now, we are able to work from home. I catch myself doing this. My husband puts me on a boundary and a timeline. How do we start to give ourselves some boundaries when we're working from home and there's computers in the home?
We need to, because technology now is eroding from when we wake up. People grab their weapon of mass distraction. We tweet, we swipe left, we swipe right. It is, and then we go to work and then we come home on our mobiles. So technology was designed to give us more freedom and to give us more leisure time. It doesn't. So exactly what your husband is telling you to do, we need to do ourselves. So if you're watching this, whether you're a mum and dad or if you don't have kids, whether you are working as a CEO or whether you're just doing part-time work, we need some new rules around technology. So one of the rules I have when I go home to my gorgeous little kids, don't take this the wrong way, but they don't give us stuff that you and I are talking about this today. They want me to be dad and they want me to be present. So I have a hall stand when I walk in and I pull, I sound a little bit OCD, but I pull the door open, I put my mobile phone in there. I think that's a great tip for people to make the transition. Out of reach.
Would that be one of your top steps?
Yeah, one of the top steps. Now, sometimes I go and check it and I got busted last week and Archie said, Dad, put your mobile away, your kids are more important. I'm like, oh, the mouth of babes.
So what, just to round this all up, top steps?
Get off your technology. Get off your weapons of mass distraction. Use it, don't abuse it. That would be my tip number one.
Yeah.
Number two would be to map out what does an ideal life look like. Now, you're going into a really exciting period, having a baby.
Scary too,
I don't think there's much balance for the first year or so. And you say that to parents, just, go out there, have the first couple of years.
Survive,
yeah. Put the oxygen mask on. But think about what are one or two things you can do in your day that will give you some love or some peace or some connection.
And some pleasure.
And the third one, and this sounds so basic, but book regular breaks because we get so busy.
Such a great one.
So wired up. You do some great travel segments on this show. So people watching this, go on one of those holidays. Get away, and when you're away, leave your mobile phone in the safe.
That's true.
Under the bed somewhere else.
Thank you so much. So helpful. Stay with us. Gerald Quigley is in the house to answer all your calls and questions. And Sam Wood is back, and this week he'll show you how a can of baked beans, a bag of flour and 2 bottles can be your daily workout.
And later, we'll look into the benefits of carrots and whether they really are good for your eyesight.
And how many strings meet the orange bead?
One-ish, two-ish.
Right, so as we're getting closer, it's getting harder.
Yeah. All that and so much more. Stay with us on the House of Wellness.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the House of Wellness. We are joined again by our favourite pharmacist. Yes, it's GQ, that's what we call him, Mr. Gerald Quigley, here to answer all your calls and questions. Hello.
Ed, hello, Zoe.
So, I've got a question.
Always.
It is the most horrific flu season I think Australia's seen in years.
Yeah, absolutely.
What can we do? What advice can you give to kind of nip it in the bud or stop it from spreading?
The first thing to do, Zoe, is to think about how this is transmitted. So it's by touch and by inhaling. So wash your hands before you eat. You've got to minimise those germs getting into your system.
Hand sanitizer, my best friend.
Soap and water, hand sanitizer, whatever pushes your buttons. As long as you do it before you eat, every time your hands go near your mouth.
Yeah, I'm talking to my husband every time.
Sorry, Benji. Inhaling and washing your nose out because you breathe in these germs as well. So if you're somewhere and people are sneezing, move away. Just ignore them. If you are unlucky and you start to feel those initial symptoms, you don't quite feel right, just get some early nights. Sleep is the biggest constant factor in recovering. From a herbal perspective, I'm an Echinacea fan. It's antiviral, and we're talking viruses here. But the first thing to do, minimise your risk.
So as a professional, lipospheric vitamin C is something that really helps me.
Vitamin C is antiviral. So there you go.
Done.
You're ahead of your time.
Let's grab some of your calls right now. First up today, a caller from Burra in South Australia. This is Richard. Go ahead, mate. What's your question?
Guy, what's the best way to rehydrate when you're shearing in the summer at 55 degrees in a shed with no cold water? And what foods to eat? Thank you.
Shearing in a 55 degree shed.
I was going to ask the same question.
With no water.
And no air conditioning, clearly.
Yes. No, well, you can always open the windows, Ed. Look, the important thing here is rehydration. So you've just got to take plenty of fluid with you. Electrolyte replacement, all those things that we sweat out, we have to replace. Because the first thing that happens when you get dehydrated, your brain doesn't work. And when you're holding some shears, last thing you need.
He said food as well. Anything you recommend?
Well, anything that's got lots of water content. So watermelon and anything that's juicy. Yeah.
All right. OK, thanks for that. Next we have an email. This is from Les in Queensland. Les writes, it's stated that 400 IU of vitamin D is the maximum recommended daily dosage. Is this the correct amount I should be taking?
Les, the experts are out. The supplements come as a 1,000 international unit, but most people in Australia agree those levels are probably too low.
OK.
If you've been diagnosed with low D, you need 2,000 units a day to bring your levels up. Because if you've got low levels and you take low strength vitamin D, nothing's going to change.
All right.
You've got to get it up there.
OK, bump up the dose. Good that you asked. Next on the line, we have a grandmother from Wagga Wagga. She has concerns for her granddaughter. Jan, go ahead.
Oh, good morning. Just wondering, my granddaughter, who's 12, has extremely bad flatulence. Wondering if you could help. Thank you. Bye.
Over to you, Gerald.
That's not fun for a 12-year-old, is it?
Well, no. Boys that are 12 take pride in that sort of thing. But, Jan, normally it's a matter of looking at food intake. Often, this age love high-sugar things. They eat quickly. They eat on the go all the time. So there's no chance for their tummies to catch up. So, Jan, perhaps look at some probiotic, increase yogurt, take a probiotic supplement, slow the thing down, and it will settle.
Alrighty, let's take a look at what everyone's talking about right now through social media and so on. I love this. This is the cutest thing I've seen all day. This is the latest exercise trend for pet lovers. Sweat with your pet. Now, I've seen people at the gym doing these sort of squats with their weights and so on.
He looks heavy.
This is a big British bulldog. Yeah, you'll love this. You've got a couple of dogs. You can just stack them up. Although they might not fit over your growing tummy, but that is really cute.
Yeah, it's a good way to integrate your pets, right? Yeah. Now, I love this. Her name is My Adventures to Fit. Now, she is a mum. She has completely changed her whole life by losing... Look how much weight she's lost.
Oh, good on her.
In the comfort of her own home. She's become gluten-free, dairy-free, has not been to the gym, and she's my motivation. Look at her. You don't need... There's no excuse. And with our Sam Wood tips...
Yeah.
You look like that in no time.
Great work. Well done, you.
Yes.
What did you spot this week?
Mine is the content of every shearer's lunchbox. Every shearer's lunch. So we're talking... I got this from Blonde, one of my favourite sites. Cucumber... What's so funny about that?
Nothing. I love that you follow her.
Yeah, I do, very closely. Cucumber, apples, greens, radishes, watermelon, things that are high fluid... Juicy. In every shearer's lunchbox.
Well, that just helps him.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
Get hydrated.
Good ones.
Thank you.
Now, don't forget, in September, it is Liptember, your favourite. There are many beneficiaries, including Batyr. Now, Batyr provide preventative education in the area of youth mental health.
Yeah, and you can get involved by purchasing lipsticks from any chemist warehouse. In fact, you can find further details of the beauty box online at our website, houseofwellness.com.au. There's more than $350 worth of products in there for only $40.
That's unbelievable.
And I should mention all proceeds will go towards the Liptember Foundation, so it's a great one.
Now, and while you're on our website, you'll find health tips, food tips, exercise tips, and one of my favourites, beauty tips.
Yeah.
Now, you guessed it, there are tips for everyone. Oh, Gerald is there too.
Yeah,
so if you want to ask him a question, like these people have today, give him a call. 1-800-469-788. And if you're on your phone, on Facebook, the House of Wellness Oz is us. Please like us. Lots of good info for you and your family. There's so much going on today. Make an appointment to stay with us.
OK, time for another 60 seconds with Superfit Sam Wood. We are here today to have a look at 3 things we might find in our everyday pantry to use to get fit with.
Absolutely. Don't need a lot of equipment and you don't need a lot of time. Here's 3 things you can find in your pantry for 3 different moves. I want you to try these at home. So, we're going to start... A few things I've got here, Ed.
Baked beans.
Baked bean boxing. All right, pumping out in front, keeping the heart rate up, bend your knees a little bit. Going to get you going on that one, Ed.
All right, then.
All right, baked bean boxing.
It's the aftermath of the baked beans that we're always worried about.
That's it. Faster. All right, our next one, flour power. So a jump squat using a kilo of flour as our resistance.
Right.
Soft landing, explode up. I want you to try 10 of those.
Grab those beans.
I'll grab those beans.
Soft landing.
Okay. So keep it close to your chest. And as you land, you're into the next one. So if you're trying this one at home, guys, A normal squat is fine, but if you're nice and warmed up and you want to build a bit of power, go for the jump squat. And then this is everyone's favourite, Ed.
Oh, this will be good. From your pantry, what'll it be?
A few of our viewers may have done a little bit too much of this last night, but we get those arms going.
Are you serious?
With
okay.
a couple of nice bottles of red. There we go. There you go, mate. You get those.
I worry that this will just encourage more drinking.
Well, we have a bit of fun with it.
Okay.
There we go. Get it going. Working the biceps. Nice and fast. You stay there. I'll go and get some cheese and crackers.
Fantastic. Okay.
Beautiful.
Stay with us. More to come here after the break on the House of Wellness. On our A to Z of vitamins this week, we take a look at what vitamins are best for the over 50s. But next up, we'll find out if eating all those carrots as a child really helped your eyesight.
They feel that eating the unhealthy foods accentuate diseases in the eye.
We'll see you back here straight after the break.
As a kid, I was lucky because I loved my veggies, but one veggie I wasn't too fond of was carrots. Now, my parents used to try all tricks to get me to eat these carrots, like telling me they improve my eyesight and even night vision. But do they? Are carrots good for your eyes? Well, humans can't actually see in the dark very well at all. No matter what we eat, we're not nocturnal. Like rabbits, which can eat carrots and can see in the dark. But then again, so can owls and vampires, and they certainly don't eat carrots. So where did all this carrot and night vision thing come from? It turns out it all started in World War II, where certain foods were scarce and rationed, but not carrots. So, of course, the authorities came up with a way to encourage people to eat more carrots and hence promised night vision and even credited the success of their pilots to their diet of carrots. Well, carrots are packed with a nutrient called beta-carotene, which our body converts into vitamin A, keeping our eyes strong, which is obviously incredibly important. Because while we don't hear much about it anymore, not that long ago, eye disease was so common it affected some of the world's most famous eyeballs. Mark Lebry is Professor of Art History and Visual Culture, who is an expert of eye disease in art.
Artists are eyes for all of us. They help us see the world again in ways that perhaps we wouldn't. All of us know Claude Monet as the person who split light up into its constituent colours. He showed us how a white can be of 5 different types of white. But Monet started to develop cataract. This is probably what Monet saw when he was looking at those water lilies with through his cataract impaired vision. It's incredibly moving to realise how Monet was battling all the time. Not only was he a creative genius, but he was also fighting his own eyes in a way that means that these last and fantastic works are even more moving, I think, when we see them.
Turns out Monet wasn't alone. Vincent van Gogh had ocular issues, as did Chardin. Rembrandt and the great impressionist Degas was so photophobic and short-sighted he had these special glasses made just for him.
It's one of the most ironic things that Degas, one of the great impressionists, one of the people that showed us how light works in many ways and lit up, was actually somebody who was always battling against light.
Isn't it fascinating to think that our visual history has been affected by eye disease? Thanks to modern medicine and the easy access to healthy foods, like carrots, these once common diseases are nowhere near as prevalent today. But we still must remain vigilant.
Australia, and especially Queensland, has one of the highest incidence of eye cancers in the world. So UV protection, hat, sunglasses, and they feel that eating the saturated fats and the unhealthy foods accentuate diseases in the eye, and smoking is an absolute no-no.
David Evian has been a behavioural ophthalmologist for over 45 years. And whilst he warns against eye disease, there's a new danger we should all be aware of.
Children are coming in myopic earlier. We're seeing more myopia or short sight, and the blue light coming off the screens, coming off the iPhones, the iPads, prevent melatonin from forming, and hence we have more insomnia. So it's taking the kids longer to fall asleep, and the adults.
David has come up with a few exercises that strengthen the eye muscles and help us to cope with our screen-intensive lifestyles.
And how many strings do you see at the bead?
2.
And how many strings meet the orange bead?
1-ish, 2-ish.
Right, so as we're getting closer, it's getting harder.
Yeah. Our eyes control one of the body's most active muscle groups. So consciously adjusting your convergence and focusing back and forth a few reps every day will very quickly increase your strength and flexibility.
They'll make reading more comfortable. You'll read for longer, your eyes will get less tired, and you should have more visual fitness at the page.
Okay, so exercise helps fight against screen sickness. But how do we protect our eyes against the diseases the Impressionist artists were suffering from? Well, carrots are certainly a great start.
As carrots are really important, but there's so much more when it comes to protecting your eyes. Green leafy vegetables, vitamin E, fish, nuts and seeds. You have to eat a whole variety of good food to really protect your eyes.
Well, there we go. I'm in a Zoe sandwich right now, but fascinating story. This carrot thing I always thought was a bit of an old wives' tale, but the story about the artist was really interesting.
It really is fascinating when you look at Monet, Degas, Cézanne. All of them had issues with their eye. Now, particularly Monet had macular degeneration, and what he actually saw was that over the course of his life is that the colours changed. It actually went to a yellow hue, and you can see it reflective in the style of his art and the type of painting he was actually doing. It was fascinating to watch.
He was
really
a sculptor in light, wasn't he?
Wow. Now, asking another profound question, carrots aren't enough to prevent eye disease.
Obviously. Look, we know that carrots are rich in vitamin A, and we know that vitamin A has a very strong antioxidant property to it, but you need so much more than that. Particularly what we need is a good lifestyle. I mean, that thing, you can't fight genetics, and often what these are a genetic disorder, but what we can do is we can slow the process down and we can put our body in the best position to fight. So lots of antioxidant type foods, so that's an array of different colours, green leafy vegetables, but the big thing that I find is the anti-inflammatories. We live in a lifestyle which causes a lot of toxicity, causes a lot of stress. What happens? That increases something called C-reactive protein. That's our inflammation markers, and that can affect everything in the body.
Right.
So,
and we should bring in the turmeric.
Lots of turmeric.
So much turmeric.
I put it in my juices. I make Emily's vegan smoothies with it. It's in everything.
I love it. You're such a gung-ho lab rat for us. Great story. Thank you for that. Now, don't forget, every Sunday morning you can catch us on the radio as well with our Larry Emder and Gerald Quigley as well. The whole team at the House of Wellness. There's lots of great tips for you. We are in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide and Perth. We are on the internet on our fabulous website as well, houseofwellness.com.au. Here on TV, and don't forget our great magazine as well.
And then there's Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. We are everywhere. Still to come, the A to Z of vitamins, the best for over 50s.
And she's here, everybody. All rise. She's making her way to the sofa. Please scatter the rose petals for the Queen of TV, Kerri-Anne Kennerley. We'll see you soon on the House of Wellness.
Welcome back to the House of Wellness. We have a very special guest for you.
I feel like we should release the corgis. The wait is over, everyone. We are graced today with the Queen of Television, National Treasure.
Bow down.
Inducted into the Logie Hall of Fame this year with decades of TV behind her. Hello, Caxter.
Hi, Ed. How are you, Zoe?
That wasn't awkward, was it?
I feel very... Where's my tiara? Tiara, please.
This is wonderful. After about 10 years plus appearing on your shows, thank you so much for coming back to be on ours.
Absolute pleasure. And what a great show. Congratulations, because you've really formulated one of the areas that everybody is interested in, and you just got it all in one show. Fantastic.
You know, I think I speak for all of Australia when I say I'll have what she's having. Because you're such an energiser bunny at a time when we tend to slow down in our later years. You've been busier than ever the last 18 months plus, right?
Who would want to slow down?
Yeah.
You only slow down if you have to.
Yeah.
It's never been in my DNA anyway. No. I've always sort of had an abundance of energy. But there's no question, as you get older, you've got to prioritise and you've got to feel good about yourself in order to do everything you want to do.
So health and wellbeing's played a big part in your life.
Oh, no, there's no question. It has forever, but it's more important as you age because your body does change, so you do have to compensate. So I've always enjoyed living a full life, but you do know as you get a bit older, if you're not healthy, what is life about? And there's everything from being bedridden to just not feeling
great.
the best. So I think that's well-being, what they talk about well-being now. So somewhere in between that, if you're not feeling great every day, or at least good, you can't accomplish everything that you want to. You can't be your full self. And life is so fabulous, you know, to be fulfilled. So take advantage. That means an attitude, positive attitude if you can, a bit of exercise. I've luckily always been into supplements for a very long time, and especially in 2017, they're so much more sophisticated, great quality products. This helps, and good diet.
Now, I just want to go back to something else that was fabulous, is your Logie speech. And you referred to your mother, who's in her 90s. Surely she has given you some tips and tricks on how to be well.
Well, Mum, funnily enough, it was just normal for us. Mum was always one of the first people I realise now who was always into health, but it was very nutritional. So we only ever had, you know, great vegetables, fresh food, fruit and vegetables. Dad was very ill in his 40s, and there's no question, and then later on in his life, there's no question, my mother nursed him back to health strictly through nutrition and just getting him better and better. So I saw it work firsthand. She was way before her time. I now realise how
in you.
Yeah, I realise now how unusual that is with families now.
And the truth is, we can't always get the nourishment we need through our foods these days, which is why this is a perfect fit. You're an ambassador now for Healthy Care.
Yeah, Healthy Care, and one of the reasons I love Healthy Care, as I said, it's become so much more sophisticated. The important things about vitamins are the ingredients. They've got to have potency, efficacy, and the real ones are the top grade. So if you go for something cheap and horrible, it's not going to work. So you have to ingest stuff that is potent and good for you, and that means top grade.
That's true.
Did you see how they twisted her arm to sing and dance in that ad? Incredible.
We've got to see it. Take us through your daily routine.
Okay. Healthy Care is an all-Australian company, which is the other fabulous thing that I love.
Excellent.
Two brothers, all made in Australia, and they search out the best ingredients. And it's like, if you're going to buy fruit and vegetable, buy the best one, because it will, if it's grown on the vine, it has the full complement of everything it needs. If it's been snap frozen from woe to go, it's not going to have everything you need. Where do you want to start? What's the first one?
Yeah, what do you take?
Well, first one, I love fish oil. Fish oil is a great anti-inflammatory. I use it because there's no question, as you age, things start to creak, whether it's my ankle, which I sort of did every ligament 15 years ago, or playing golf isn't the most natural action. So it's sort of, have you ever seen a fish with arthritis?
No, good
That's
point.
so strange, you haven't.
It's the Queen, don't argue.
But no, it definitely keeps everything moving. Very, and you know, you really can't take too much. If you're taking more than you need, you know, but it helps lubricate the body,
And there's things like ginkgo, which I'm not sure what that's for, and use turmeric, which is a superfood of the time. Yeah,
well, ginkgo's fantastic. For a long time, it's been known as, you know, the brain food. But the reason I believe it works, and I take it, because it's all about oxygen-rich blood flow. So if your blood is moving well through your body and to your brain, you will get a lot more oxygen, which really relates well to brain stamina and memory and all that sort of stuff. So I love that.
You know a lot of levels of these. I just pop mine in the morning and hope for the best.
No, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and especially with quality products. Grapeseed, fantastic.
Is that your way of saying wine?
Yes. A lot of my other vitamins come fermented.
Okay, that's just had to
and
ask.
mostly white.
Fair question.
So could you say that if we did your regime, we would be feeling as well and vital as you?
Well, I just do the best I can, and what I love about grapeseed, it what they say, combats free radical damage. What's that? It just means ageing. And I'll give you an analogy. If you leave a hose out in the backyard for a little while, a couple of years, it gets very brittle and it breaks. That's actually the chemical reaction breaking down. That's called free radical damage. That's what happens on the inside. So we are going to age.
We can talk about this for years over
just
some
do
wine.
the best you can.
You are radical.
It's amazing.
Thank you, Your Majesty. So lovely to see you.
It's lovely to see you.
Let's
thank you.
Thank you.
Take a little break. Plenty more to come here on The House of Wellness. Welcome back to A to Z of Vitamins time. Kerry-Ann has stayed with us. Thank you so much.
I have enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you very much.
We've been discussing your vitamins routine with the Healthy Care range, and we thought, I know you're nowhere near it. I'm over 50, and we thought we might ask you, Gerald, if there's any supplements we need to focus on once we hit that kind of milestone in life.
Well, on behalf of Kerry-Ann and I, the implication that we're over 50 is rather offensive. Do you agree, Kerry-Ann?
I said nothing.
The implication was there. As we heard from Kerry-Ann, it's important to maintain things. We all want to be 25 forever. But we maintain things by eating well, by getting sleep, by just being sensible and taking appropriate supplements. And we're all different, so you get some advice on the best supplements. Underpinning all of them is a multivitamin.
Yep, and you found the best way to work these into your routine.
Oh, I've got to say, I'm just like everybody else. You get your vitamins and you fall off the wagon sometimes. So I came to realise, because I take several a day, sometimes twice a day, I went and got one of those packs, and I pack it once a week.
Clip packs.
The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I know because by the time you open each one of those every single morning, you're exhausted. It takes you 10 minutes to do it once a week, and you're more likely to do it regularly. Yes. And that's the key. You've got to take your vitamins regularly, and if you've got them right there in one little box and you pack them all in 1 week.
You also remember what day it is. That's helpful for me.
Yeah, but I actually take coenzyme 10 for that and ginkgo biloba.
All right, we've got time for one more call. We have Carmen standing by in Hartley, New South Wales. Go ahead.
I want to know about what to take for fatigue. Thank you.
Carmen, great call, and so appropriate for what we've been discussing today with Kerry-Ann. The important thing is all those things we talked about. Eat well, live well, have lots of friends, stay well hydrated, take a multi every day, and enjoy life. Simple.
Get out and about. When it's Carmen, is it?
Yeah.
Carmen, just, find people who you like. I hope you can get out and do some exercise, a walking group, people over fatigue, go to other people, engage with life, but at the same time, make sure, apart from that bit of exercise, which will make you feel good, find something. There are, fatigue, it can come in many different forms. So, maybe some of the coenzymes.
Yes.
Done deal. Thank you, Energizer Bunny. Thank you for watching today. Highlights from the show?
Highlights, spending time with Kerry-Ann.
Yeah. For you, Z?
Been a real highlight.
Oh, there's been so much, but I think I need to get one of those packs and boxes now that I can put my vitamins in to get organised.
A time saver.
Time saver.
All righty. Look, before we go, thanks to everyone who's appeared on the show, including royalty as well. Big thanks to our friends at Chemist Warehouse also, as usual, for getting behind the House of Wellness.
Enjoy your week. We will see you next time.
And you. Thank you.